Claire from I Wish I Can, I Will, and today I am joined by Kerry Bonfiglio Bains from Prosperity Queens. Hi, Kerry.
Hi there, Claire. You okay today?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
All right, thank you very much. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, good. So the reason I've started the Make It Happen interview series is because every day I come across women who want to make things happen, whether it's in their life or their business. But what happens is they get stuck, they get frustrated, and they can't see a way forward. And what happens is that I also meet wonderful women like Kerry who are making it happen in their business and in their life and are making strides forward. And what I wanted to do is to marry up the two to inspire those who need some direction, who would like some advice or tips or motivation to help them make it happen. And by conducting these interviews, it means that we can give you the inspiration that you need and maybe give you some ideas and tips of how you can make it happen too. So I'll just give you a brief introduction to Kerry. So Kerry was first launched a recruitment agency at the tender age of 26, and she never imagined that she would be running a business turning over millions of pounds within a very short period of time, and neither did she imagine that she would also have 3 children and feel desperately torn between working really hard in her business and also running a family. And I think there's so many of us that can relate to that. But it wasn't until she suffered a stroke at the age of 40 that she finally realised that something had to give. And I just think it's amazing what Kerry has managed to do and is managing to make happen, and has, you know, carried on and done a fantastic job and is doing a fantastic job at what she does best. So what I wanted to do today was to introduce you to Kerry and hear a bit more about her journey and how she makes it happen. How does that sound, Kerry?
That sounds fantastic. Wow, I'm really impressed with that woman.
She's crying. So what I wanted to start with, Kerry, is if you could just tell us a little about you and your Make It Happen journey. I think that would be a great way to kick off.
Okay, well, without the risk of going back to when I was born, a lot of my journey really does start very early on. I've come from an entrepreneurial family. All of my family were in business, so I was never really around the 9 to 5. And I also sort of was in a very driven environment, you know, work hard, work lots of hours. And I guess, I don't know, when I left school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went to college, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And I ended up temping, would you believe? I just thought, right, I've got to earn some money. So I went out and temped. And when the lady came in the office to see me, I thought, I can do your job. I want your job. I really want your job. So I knocked on every recruitment agency's door and badgered somebody to take me on and said, just take me. I'll work for nothing. Just take me. I really want to learn. And that was where I met my first mentor, actually. I didn't realise she was my mentor at the time. And I worked my butt off in recruitment, and I loved it every minute of every day.
Kerry, who was it? Which company was it?
It was a company called Echo Employment, and They had 64 branches. Well, when I joined, 32 branches. The reason I left was they merged with a company called Adia, and they became Adecco.
Right.
That was when really I couldn't be myself there. And that was when, I'd won several awards working for Adecco. I was the youngest branch manager to actually be in there at the age of 23. And it gave me so much inspiration. I learned lots about budgets. I learned lots about running a business. So at the age of 26, I no longer liked what I was doing within Adecco. Didn't really like the business. And I thought, I've got 2 choices. I either go and work for somebody else or I set up on my own. So I gave up my lovely company car and gave up my luxurious salary, and there I was with my little Fiesta with a mortgage to pay, which I think I did on my first month on my credit card.
Yeah.
Begged, stolen, borrowed, because I put all my money into my business. So I painted my own little office, and that's it. The journey started from there, really. And oh my gosh, I've learned so much. Yeah. So I started with just 1 employee, and then that grew. At our peak, we had 28, had 4 offices, and round about £6 million turnover.
Wow.
So, and during that time, you know, I had to seek out lots of advice. But I think really the turning point, as you said, for me was along that way, I got married, had 3 children, very, very close together. And I just thought I could do it all. I thought I could be Superwoman. But what was really going on in the background was actually I was changing, and really I wasn't connecting with my children. I was You know, when you're not in the room, but not in the room.
Yeah, laptop half open.
Yeah, I was at work, you know, thinking about the kids. I was screeching up to, you know, the assembly. It was just, it wasn't really right. But also what was happening was, as well as I was changing, I wasn't actually enjoying my job. You know, I think we spoke about this before. You know, I was thinking, I'm not enjoying what I'm doing anymore, but I've got to do this because I've got to feed my family.
Yes.
And every day I was going and saying, I've got to do this because I've got to feed my family. And I was just on a complete hamster wheel. And then the stroke happened, and I was at work, would you believe? And I still denied, whilst things were going on in my body, I kept denying it, and I still sat at my desk.
Do you know it was a stroke, or did you just think, oh my God, I just...
Do you know, I'd had 2 warning signs before that I completely ignored, that I just, I pretended weren't really happening. And sorry about that. And when it did actually happen, it was a real, you know, wow, what's going on? I was sat at my desk, and my arm went numb. I couldn't see out of my right eye, and luckily my sister works for me. She's fantastic. So I went into the kitchen and said, something's going on. I don't feel very well. What I didn't know was also my face had dropped.
Oh.
So she literally, so she got me to the hospital. And I think real fearful time was I was lying there, and they said, oh, you've had a migraine. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, migraine. I'm not really suffered from migraines before. But they said, you know, this sort of go through all the tests. Can you lift your leg? And at that point, I couldn't lift my leg, and I couldn't lift my arm. And that's when I realised that something was really bad. And then they just rushed me down to theatre, and they do something called, they thrombolyse you, which is where it's fun. As long as they catch it within 3 hours, they can stop any damage, which is what they did. So that was fantastic. But I didn't stop there, because me being me, even within 48 hours, I was like on my email thinking this is what I should do. Yeah. And it took me a good 12 months to really realise that this is it, you know, this is enough. You've got to sort yourself out. So I put
straight after that. Were you straight back into the business?
Within a couple of weeks, I went, and I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have done, and I didn't need to. It was just you know the inner game. All these things were happening that I didn't realise were happening. But what I did do, after about 12 months, I realised, no, this is it. And I took the whole summer off with the kids, which was fantastic. And that's when my journey started again to make it happen. And hence, you know, Prosperity Queens was born, and I started to help other women, and that's where I've really now found my passion again. I still have my recruitment agency, which I love now. Really enjoy that, because I'm working on the business, not in it.
So your sister runs that now, does she?
Does, yeah. She's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. So I'm working 3 days a week. Absolutely love my life at the minute, and I've got so much going on, which feels great. But it's organised. I've got time for myself. I go to the gym, and you know, I'm really lucky now. Very, very lucky.
And it's interesting, because one of the questions I was going to ask you is, what was your catalyst for making it? I think, God, having a stroke at your desk in the middle of the day is kind of like a fairly big catalyst and a big warning sign, but you just didn't pay attention to that at the time. So after 12 months, and you said that you realised it couldn't carry on the way it was going. You know, at that point, what was going on?
Well, I think that 12 months I was having a lot of emotion. For anybody that's had a stroke or knows about strokes, it's not just physical. It's very mental and emotional. And actually, for me, it affected me emotionally. So I was crying all the time. I was screaming at my kids. I was just in total. I can't even tell you where I was. I was in a bad place.
Yeah.
But actually, I went to my doctor, and they wanted to put me on antidepressants, which I was like, no, that's not going to happen. But what they did recommend was CBT. And I went to see a lady. And of course, the first question I said was, how long is it going to take to fix me? I need to be fixed. Fix me now. How many weeks? What's the process? Give me a plan. Give me a template. And she's like, no, Kerry, just sit back and relax. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Anyway, 6 weeks later, I have to say, I've got a lot to thank that woman for, because I think that was the turning point. That was when I would sit in with her, and I'd have my arms crossed, I'd be crying. But actually, at the end of the 6 weeks, I'd sit there quite confidently with my arms open and go, do you know what? No, I'm okay. I can do this. So yeah, I think a couple of.
It's interesting from the interviews that I've done with some other people as well. It's interesting. The turning point, it always seems to be, it's actually when you seek out the help that you think you don't need, but actually, okay, I'll give it a go and get some help. And then it's actually how powerful that can be when you do get it.
Well, I think, you and I know, don't we? The people that we see, they don't always know they need us until they work with us. And once, I have that all the time with my clients, maybe they'll ring me, they go, I'm not quite sure I want to spend the money, or I'm not quite sure I need to do this, but, and they're going to come knocking on your door 3 months later because they are at that point. I think I would urge people not to get to that point. There's nothing weak about seeking out help. And I think that's where I was thinking it was weak.
Yeah.
And I've always been taught to be strong in my life. So I think
yourself as a strong person, and you think, well, I can do this, and I've always been able to do it, and people are relying on me. Then you think, well, I can handle this.
Yeah.
And it's not even a sign of weakness. Sometimes it's kind of a case, well, I can. You just convince yourself you can handle things, and you can handle things. And actually, it's not until you start to talk to someone you think, actually, having brains on this rather than one is a lot better.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. No, I'd agree with that, definitely.
So, Kerry, what exactly do you do? So, when you have your fabulous ideas for all your businesses and all the stuff that you do, how do you bring your ideas to life? What are the sort of things that you do? All the processes. You're very process driven.
I am process driven, but not as much as I used to be. But you know what? My biggest thing is, maybe it's my recruitment. I connect with as many people as I can, and I seek out people and I learn from people to. And then collate all of those ideas, and then I write them all down, and I'm very list orientated in the sense that I'll sort of say, right, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and then I swap them over on my lists, and then the idea comes out there. And talking to people, either it be your mentor or my sister is a great sounding board for me. She's my real go-to person. But overall, I connect with as many people as I can, and take what I can learn from them, and then see what resonates with me, and that's how it happens.
And I suppose the other question is that you've got, you connect with people, you get your ideas, you pick out the best bits, you mull around, you create something yourself. But I suppose Kerry, the worry is that you're going to, go at this hammer and tongs again. So how do you balance now? You're working 3 days a week. So how do you balance your kind of make it happen projects with life, and obviously make it happen projects are your children as well and your family, but how do you balance everything?
Okay, so I'm a Miss Organise, and also I'm known as a control freak. I'm CF because I do like to be organised, but I've created my own planner. So I have a 12-month planner where I block out all of the kids' holidays, because I only work term time as well. And I block out any, special events or things I know are going to happen. But I've got my own weekly planner. I mean, I've tried the iPhone app, I've tried, all of those things, and it just doesn't work for me. So Sunday night, I sit down with my husband and the kids. Yeah. And I've got my Monday to Sunday plan. But
I've got my diary.
Yeah. But the difference is, I've got it a little bit colour coded. So I've got me time, which is my gym. So I've really found, I don't know about you, Claire, but when you've got 3 kids, when they're young, trying to fit in exercise and work and, your husband, everything else, really quite challenging. But I've really found exercise now, and I absolutely love it. So twice a week I go to the gym, and I always have a coffee with my friends afterwards. And we talk about business as well, so it's great. But I make sure it's planned in. So kids' time is planned in, husband time, date night, whatever it is, and my time. Because I'm not sure if you heard, there's something resonated with me a while ago, I'm not quite sure where I heard it, but if you're on an aeroplane and the gas masks come down, and you put it on your child first, what is the point of that? You've got to fill yourself up first. So I'm not quite sure where I found that bit out. Because, the guilt when you're a mother, the guilt of working, the guilt of going out with your friends, the guilt of having fun, all of those kind of things. But I don't feel guilty anymore, because I know I'm being the best version of me now.
Yes. So if you're not capable of looking after anybody else, then there's no point, because you're not the best version of yourself, and it's exhausting, and you feel more guilt.
Yeah. So now, you know, some things just have to wait, don't they? And I just make sure that the things I know work for me are slotted in. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. Sometimes the plan goes a bit ski-whiff, and sometimes, you know, I do get stressed and whatever. But now I'm more aware.
So can you share with us one of your biggest cock-ups that you've made in the last 12 months?
Oh God, hundreds. You still every day, you know, you do something. Okay, so when I was going to launch Prosperity Queens, I was what's called a Be Perfect. So if anybody wants to go to my website, there's a take the test. And again, my recruitment background, I'm always into people's personalities. And Dr. Carla, he did something to do with drivers about when you're very young, how you influenced, and that sort of makes you the personality type that you are. So one of them is a Be Perfect, and I'm a Be Perfect. So I wanted my website to be perfect, and I wanted my image, and because I was going to be out there, wasn't I? And it's quite a lot, isn't it, to put yourself out there and to be vulnerable. Yeah. So for me, I wanted the image to be right. I wanted the photograph, you know, I didn't want the wrinkles showing or whatever it was. But my biggest cock-up really is that whilst I was busy doing all of this, I wasn't even thinking where the business was going to come from.
Yeah.
So I've got this nice shiny website, but then I've got no clients.
Yeah.
So I guess the cock-up is, you know, don't try and be perfect, and also just take some action. Yeah. And, you know, just go for it, really.
And that's the biggest thing. I've talked to so many people who are, you know, doing things in their business. Well, I can't do that until
yeah.
Hard. And you can talk to people and you can look them in the eye and you can spend time with them.
Yeah.
Then, you know, that's how connections are made, not hiding behind a computer. And I find that is one of the biggest challenges that many of us face, is that, you know, God, I should be actually out talking to people and spending time with them and connecting in a way that you can't really unless you're doing things like this where you're actually talking live to people. And that's the wonder of technology, actually, because you can connect with people live on Skype or on Google Hangouts. Yeah. Like this. You know, modern technology does support us in that way, but I think it's good for your soul to get out and about and see people and connect.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what do you love about making it happen? I mean, what is it you love about your business and what you're doing now?
Wow. Do you know what? I love being able to make an impact on other women's lives, in the sense that, you know, when I was out there quite desperate and I didn't know where to turn, I think now if I can catch women before they fall, that is what I love. You know, I really, really enjoy the difference that I can make from my experience. That's just fantastic. Just to I'm not saying that all women are going to go and have a stroke like me, but equally it just might stop them, you know, having an illness, or it might stop them being really unhappy, or it might stop them giving up. Because sometimes you get to a point, don't you, where you think, I've had enough, I can't run this business anymore, I may as well go back to working for somebody else. And I don't think that should happen. You know, I think when you've got children, it's great to have your own business and create the freedom.
Yes, absolutely. And I suppose what the other thing is what do you fear most about what you do? You know, what are the things where you go, shit, you know, God, I can't do that? Or what are the things that make you feel really fearful on your kind of, when you're making things happen? What are the things that stop you in your tracks and go, oh God, I need to think about that? And how do you overcome them?
Well, putting myself out there, really, you know, because before I was part of a big company. So, you know, my business, it wasn't just me, it was, you know, my brand, and it was the people that worked for me, and I headed the company. So whereas this, you know, what I'm doing now is about me. So I do get quite fearful sometimes about, will somebody like me, will they not like me? And I've really had to overcome that over the last 12 months. And I've learned to like myself and love myself more, and realise that some people will like me and some people won't. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. My boss used to describe me as firm but fair. But I know I'll get results from my clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's fears of vulnerability, putting yourself out there, really.
Yeah, and that is very common as well, because if you go to any networking events or something like that, you walk into a room and it's daunting, and I consider myself to be a quite out there type of person. When I walk into a room full of strangers, I still go,
Yeah. We all do, don't we? It is natural.
You always spot the nervous ones at a networking event because they're the ones in the corner on their phones doing that.
Phones, yeah.
Trying not to be seen.
Yeah.
Put my phone in my handbag and then nobody's going to...
Yeah.
So do you procrastinate? You don't sound to me like you're a procrastinator, but, you know, what are the things you get stuck on? What are the things that stop you moving forward?
Yeah, I do procrastinate. Yeah.
Website, of course, Mrs. Perfection. Yes, of course.
Yes, yeah, I do procrastinate, and I think that's something you've got to get over. But procrastination is fear, and the fear is the inner game stuff. So if you can work on the inner game stuff, you know, you've got to find a way of overcoming that fear, because fear will stop you, and fear, well, actually, lack of clarity can cause a lot of procrastination. So the first thing I always do with my clients is a clarity map.
Yeah.
And we really go out there with this map and expand on it and make sure that people have clarity. When you have clarity, it stops procrastination. So I do procrastinate because I'm a be perfect, but you've got to find a way to get over that. And sometimes just talking to my sister, my friends, somebody, come on, Kerry, just get over yourself. Get on with it. You can do this. Yeah, just go and do it.
So what are you waiting for? Just do it.
Yeah.
And that was the whole premise of the make it happen concept. Yeah. Is that because we do procrastinate for whatever reason, we do sit and go, what about this and what about that and what will they say and how do I do that and I'm not sure how. And there was this came up in a meeting I was at or watched something last week, and someone described it as, you know, when you're on a journey and it's dark, and say you were driving to Scotland in the middle of the night, you know, the headlights on the car will only light up the first few, 100 yards in front of you, and you can't actually see the destination, but you know you're going to get there. And if you're not about where you want to end up, then sometimes you just got to step out into the dark and take one step at a time, because ultimately you can't map out every step of the way.
No. And I think the other thing is that, when I was younger, I didn't have any fear and I'd got nothing to lose, but now older, 3 children, commitments, you've built up a lot of experience, good and bad. So I think that fear and lack of clarity, whereas the last 12 months I am so clear what my vision is again. And I was exactly the same when I set up appointments personnel. I knew what I wanted and there was nothing that was going to stop me. And I was so energized, and I get a lot of energy from the people around me.
It's funny because my next question is the people around you and who is in your support network, because I know that's so important, and actually I haven't really thought that through. How do you get the support that you need? Where does it come from? And how do you kind of harness that energy?
Okay, so my girlfriends, I have a group of girlfriends that are all either in really high profile career jobs or they're in business, and we've been friends for 22 years. I actually met them when I was working out in Greece. So I went to do a 6-month stint in Greece for whatever, why not? Yeah, just go out there. And I saw this group of girls on a beach, and my friend said, I know her from over there. They're from where we live. And I went, okay, then let's go chat. And there we are, 22 years later, we're all still friends. So that they give me so much energy, and they're also very honest and frank and straight, which I really like. And I've got an inner circle of girlfriends as well. But my family, my sister is, a massive inspiration to me, and we just seem to connect really, really well. That's great. I've got 2 sisters. My younger one is in London. She's got a first class honours, and she's the brainy one. So I go to her for certain things, and that's right. Yeah, and of course my mentor. I always make sure I have a mentor in my life as well. So
mentor, how did you go about finding your mentor? Because that's another thing that people say, I need a mentor. Where did you get yours?
Yeah, well, oh gosh, that was quite a difficult one, because it's very noisy out there, isn't it, Claire? So many people for so many different things. I actually went to an event last year and I saw her speaking on a stage, and I just sort of connected, in some way, shape or form. Very business savvy, and I like to have somebody that's business savvy but also could help me on the inner game stuff, after having the stroke and all of those kind of things. So I think it was just meant to be, really. So I can't say, follow these 3 steps. It's who you resonate with. It's who they might say one thing that makes you go, she's got me, she understands me, and you've got to feel comfortable with them.
And did you approach her?
Yes, I did. I had a discovery call, and I had a discovery call with maybe 4, and then I just stayed with the one that I felt was right for me.
Yeah. Fantastic. And I think that's it. It's actually if you do find someone that you resonate with, or somebody that you could really work with, it's important to call and do put the offers of discovery calls, because I had a discovery call with somebody last week who I was quite interested in the work he was doing, and it's interesting how chemistry is. It's really important if you're going to work with someone that chemistry is right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, Kerry, just to kind of somewhat, because I'm conscious of time, what do you think are the 3 most important things about your Make It Happen? What are the things that you would say, this is really important, this is what you need to think about?
Oh, gosh. I would say be clear. Really do a lot of work on what you want. So a lot of women I work with, they are running a business which is taking over their lives. And maybe the business was born before the children, and the business was their life, and they don't know how to get both career and children in balance. It is very challenging, absolutely. So I think if you can be honest with yourself and really go back and say, this is not working for me, this works for me, this doesn't work for me. So my clarity map, as I said, I'm quite happy to share that with anybody that wants it, but sort of really taking time to go, how much time do I want for myself? And you can't have the attitude, well, I'm never going to get there. A clarity map isn't about having it right there. A clarity map is going, well, what actions can I now take to get what I want? So the first thing is be clear on what you want. And if you don't know what you want, don't worry, it will come, because you're just going to start the process. I think the next thing is, yes, most people understand that having a goal is important, but what they do not have is a plan to achieve that goal. So they set this goal, I want to earn X amount next year, or I need 10 new clients, or whatever it is, but they a written action plan. And after the written action plan, just take action. Just get out there. And of course I'm going to say get a mentor. Of course, that's obvious. But take action. Absolutely. Yeah. And
that's the other thing I think that a lot of people struggle with, is that they have a great idea. I have so many people I talk to and they go, I've got a great idea, this is what I'm going to do, and where it's like we're having that conversation earlier on about someone taking the next step and them not taking it, and you have to give them that little push. If you haven't got that person behind you giving that gentle, loving kick in the backside, then things don't happen. And if you don't take action, nothing will happen, and you'll find yourself in the same space 6 months down the line, and that is so frustrating. But action, but also I think it's taking the action and being held accountable to that as well.
Absolutely. And I think lots of people I meet might say, I can't afford a mentor, or I can't afford to do this, or but really when I first had my recruitment coach, the big thing I said was, it's not a case of can I afford, it's can I afford not to. What will happen if I don't actually make this investment in myself?
Yes.
And I think that's a really good question to ask yourself.
And I think also it's, again, like we said before, it's about finding the right person, because not everybody else, and it's finding someone with the right experience, the right chemistry, the right personality mix, the right you know when you've met the right person. And sometimes that's quite difficult, which is why it's important to talk to a few people maybe before you make that decision.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's been brilliant, Kerry. So tell us, what have you got going on in the next few months? What can we help you with?
Oh gosh, lots. So what I've found the last 12 months is that the people that have, my chemistry has come with business mums, and I say business mums, which are mums that mean business. So in January, in my local area, which is in the Staffordshire area, I've got 2 groups starting, which are mentoring groups. And I'm really, really excited about that. I've just got some fantastic people joining those groups. But also there's going to be an online community as well, and there's going to be lots of online resources. So in the next couple of weeks, businessmoms.com is going to go live, which is great. Yeah, which is really good. But if people aren't maybe local to me, I do offer a power hour session where people might want to get clear on what they want. And you can either drop me an email at kerry@prosperityqueens.com, or you can go to my website, which is prosperityqueens.com, and have a look.
Prosperity Queens.
Prosperity Queens is live. Yeah, the business mums is coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks, which is going to be a real business support hub, for business mums, where they can get lots of templates, get lots of advice. There's going to be some great experts on there as well. But yeah, if somebody just needs to get some clarity around their business or around their life, then I'd be happy to hear from them. And I do a free introductory call as well, so just get in touch and I can arrange a call.
Brilliant. Kerry, thank you so much for joining me today. It's absolutely fabulous talking to you.
That's great. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to sharing this with both of our communities.
Yeah, sure, it'd be great. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, bye.